Hello, everyone. Dr. Victoria Skirbo here, speaking to you from the Seeds of Transformation Healing Center in Wareham, Massachusetts. It is November 11th, which means that it is time for the 11 portal reading. And we're going to look at some astrology. We're going to play with some numbers, and then I'm going to do a card reading on this portal. I've been doing these double-digit portal readings since 1/1. And so you can check those out: 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5, 6, 6, 7, 7, 8, 8, 9, 9, 10, 10, and 11, 11. And so we're going to take a look at the astrology. And so what I've done is I have created two charts. Actually, you know what? I think what I'm going to do is I am going to put them together in a way here. So give me a moment. Of course, 11 is a master number vibration. And 11 is a vibration of balance. It's a vibration of pause. It's a vibration of this. If we look to the left here, we have a chart, and I've put this chart for Washington, D.C. You can put it for your own place. We could also give it an Aries rising and read it from a specifically non-locational look, C, which I may do yet. So let's take a look at this for 11:11 a.m. on 11/11, and we did it for Washington. And then over here we have 11:11 p.m. for Washington. And of course, certain things are going to change, certain things aren't going to change. As we look at the 11:11 vibration at the beginning of the day, 11:11 a.m., we're given a Capricorn rising. When you have a Capricorn rising, the ruler of the chart is Saturn. Where is Saturn located? Here, Saturn is located in the first house. In the first house. And if we apply this 11:11 portal to the US, because I did it for Washington, D.C., we could say that Saturn in the first house deciding who we are. What do we stand for? What exactly, as a country, perhaps, do we stand for? And Saturn in Aquarius is a sign associated with democracy. We also have Pluto in this chart in the first house. That's a transformation of our identity, right? And then we have the nodes here, with the North node up here in the 10th house, the South node in the 4th house, the North node in the 4th house, the South node in the 10th house. And of course, along with the South node, we have the Sun. We just had that South node eclipse. We have the Sun and Mercury and Venus all conjunct. The Sun is really the only thing still connected to the South node, but all these others. So we have this giant conjunction, the Sun, Mercury, which is young people, Venus, which is females, right? Okay, so we can understand what that might mean. And then on the other side, we have the 4th house with Uranus there in the 4th house. One of the interesting things about this chart is we have a Yod. We have a Yod. We actually have a Yod and we have a hammer of Thor. So let's look at the Yod first. We have Pluto and Venus, and I would probably add Mercury into that as well, but definitely Venus. Pluto and Venus in a sextile to each other. This is a Aquarius side sextile, meaning that this is a sextile in which we are sharing what we know what we know. And what do we know? We know what is important to us, Venus and Scorpio. We know that we need to work together, Venus and Scorpio, in order to transform the power structures, Pluto in Capricorn, right? And they are in conjunct Mars here and the moon, actually, in Gemini. Now, Mars is retrograde in Gemini. The moon, of course, is never retrograde, but it is in Gemini. So this can be energy around the collective in the sixth house of service. This could also be indicative of our military, because it's in that house as well. And so there is a focus on that Mars and that Mars retrograde in Gemini. Incidentally, that Mars retrograde in Gemini is sitting pretty close to Donald Trump's sun. And so this last election was somewhat of a repudiation of Donald Trump. Now the Republicans have decided to dump the Trump to Satan, and Trump's not going to like that. So I imagine that Trump's going to do everything in his power to bring down DeSantis, which is actually might be great for us, right? Us people who don't like either one of them, right? So we'll see what happens with that. So we have that. Yods point to a planet that needs to make adjustments in the way that it's acting or reacting. And in that case, it's Mars, and Mars is retrograde. So there's a lot of questions around how we exert our energy, not only within the political structures of things, but Mars is actually in the United States Sibley chart is at about 25 degrees of Gemini. And so, or is it 21? 21 degrees of Gemini. So close to this Mars. The United States has 3 Mars returns this year because of Mars retrograde motion. And so we get 3 tries, right, to get started again and see what direction we want to take. We do have Mars in the Sibley chart, at least in the 7th house, which is open enemies and partnerships. So we're reevaluating who's our enemy, who's our partner, all of that. Okay, so that's happening. That's more of a political thing. This isn't really all that spiritual so far, right? If we look at the 11:11 p.m. chart, we have the same Yod. It's still there this time. Where's Mars? Wait, where's the Yod? I know the Yod is here. Where did the Yod go? So we have where's Venus? Here's Venus. Yes. Here's Pluto. It's a little wider. And Mars really still is in orb, I think, of this Yod. So we still have, but the moon has moved off. The moon has moved into Cancer. This can be anger, the moon, Mars. This, as the moon moves off into Cancer, there's less. So the day starts with maybe some angry stuff, and then by the end of the day, it sort of eases off because the moon has moved off of that. We do have the hammer of Thor here, and let's see where that is. We have Saturn square the sun. Last quarter, crisis in consciousness square. Do we trust authority? Who is the authority? Can we be self-responsible here? That's really what Saturn square the sun asks us. Are you strong enough to be responsible for yourself? This is people being held responsible for their actions. If you are, you build on that. And if you're not, it is your downfall. Okay, so we have that. And it is sesquiquadrate Mars, I believe. Is that where the sesquiquadrate is? Hold on 1 second. 18 sesquiquadrate. Unless this is the south node. All right. I guess there isn't a hammer of Thor in here. I thought I saw a hammer of Thor. Interesting. Here it is. Okay. Yes, here it is. Chiron? No. I guess there isn't a hammer of Thor. Okay. Forget the hammer of Thor. That's okay, because the last time there was a hammer of Thor, unfortunately, Paul Pelosi got hit in the head with a hammer. So that's a terrible thing. Not a joke, not a joke at all. But interesting, Oh, here's the hammer of Thor here. Okay. So we have, looks like, oh, okay. Looks like the moon and Jupiter are square. And the hammer is pointing to the sun. All right, we're going to forget the hammer because I can't find it. But we still have the Yod, right? We still have the Yod. So we do need to make some sort of, so what this chart is telling us, and I apologize for not being specific enough on this, but it seems like the question at the 1111 portal, at least for the United States, is the question of, can we act in such a way that the feminine is considered, and the wisdom of the feminine is considered in the power structure and the decisions that the US makes. Now, in my state, Massachusetts, we have our first female governor, we have a female attorney general, and a female lieutenant governor. That was the setup in Michigan back in 2020, was it? We had Gretchen Whitmer was the governor. The Secretary of State was a woman, and I believe Attorney General was a woman. So the three most powerful people in the government of Michigan were women, but their state house was Republican until yesterday. So the feminine, my dears, and everybody else out there who's either dear or not dear, it's rising. The feminine is rising. Women are taking positions of power, and that is going to change the dynamic. Now, we are going through our Pluto return in the United States, and I definitely feel like this next round of Pluto is definitely has to include the feminine. Has to include the feminine. Of course, Pluto here is square Eris, which isn't in these charts, but Eris is the goddess of discord, and she is a goddess, and she doesn't like the power structures as they are, because they're not inclusive. And there are many other indications of the power of the feminine rising as well as we move into the Aquarian age, which is an age of equanimity. And we can't have equanimity unless we have equanimity between the sexes. Okay, so that's happening. So the other thing that I want to point out is the numerology of this day. And I didn't write up a numerology. I didn't write up a numerology thing for this, but I will show you the vibration. 1111 is a 22 vibration. And so the 1111 portal always brings in that energy of 22, which is master spiritual builder. This is an opportunity for energy to come onto the planet, light coming onto the planet. If you want to know what the best crystals to utilize at this time, I would say hematite is a very powerful crystal to use right now. I would put hematite and obsidian for protection, and labradorite for connection to cosmic consciousness. Honestly, those are the ones that I would utilize at this time. But if we add the 6th vibration of the universal year, remember we're in a 6th vibration on the tree of life. That 6th vibration is located between Bina, the divine mother, and Tiphareth, the sun. So this is the Madonna and child year. This is that path. The 6th path is the path of Duality, it's the path of Gemini, and it's the path of the Lover's card, right? That's the 6 that we add to the 1111 vibration to get the vibration of the day of the 1111 portal. And when we add those all together, we get a 20, oh dear, let me see. This is terrible. 22 and 6. We get a 28-1 vibration. So we're in a 1 vibration today. The 22 to 28-1 vibration is this card right here. Let me find it. It's actually the 2 of Wands. I prefer the other 2 of Wands, but I will use this. I will pull it up and see what it says here. Where is the 2 of Wands? So the 2 of Wands in the Rider-Waite deck is the guy standing, looking out over the ocean. He's got a wand behind him. It's connected to the wall that's behind him, stable, and he has a wand in his hand, and in the other hand, he has the world. And so I think what this card is indicating to us is, what do we have to offer to the world? What is it that we have to share with the world that is based in a stable foundation here at home that you can offer to the world to make the world a better place, quite honestly? And I cannot find the 2 of Wands here. Let me pull up the 2 of Wands. I'll be right back. So this is the 2 of Wands for the Rider-Waite deck. This is the 28-1 vibration. We can see here that he's standing here looking out at the ocean. He has a world in his hands. He has his wands here. Behind him, he has a wand that is stable, connected to the wall here. And so what do you have that's stable in your life that you can look out over the world and offer to the world? This is often seen as a commerce card, but it's really about sharing your lights with this vibration. In the Thoth deck, we have this card. It's the same vibration. It's the same card. It's just a little bit different picture. And in this deck, it's Dominion. It's Dominion, Mars in Aries. Mars in Aries. Mars in Aries is a spontaneous, instinctual expression of beingness. Okay, beingness. Now remember, right now we have Mars retrograde in Gemini, making decisions about how we want to expend our energy. Where do we want to put our energy, right? And then this energy of this vibration for this day says, how are you going to share your energy and make the world a better place? That's what the cards say to me. So let's do a card reading with this, and we'll use the Thoth deck because I'm brave today. Feeling brave on the 1111. This particular, on the Tree of Life, this particular card is associated with, oops, let's do this, yeah. If you can you see, oh, Jesus, you know what? Sorry, guys. I'm making you dizzy, I'm sure. There we go. See, this is the Tree of Life. And this particular vibration is located in Chokmah. Chokmah is associated with Uranus. Where's Uranus? Uranus is on the North Node. What sign is Uranus in? It's in Taurus. A new relationship, both with Taurus, our resources, Taurus as a Venus rule sign, new relationship with the feminine. And it's located in the Sephiroth of the Divine Father. So it is about energy and force, okay? So, and it's right at the top of the tree. And it is a 1 vibration. So it takes vision. It takes a belief in yourself and your abilities. Not a belief based on delusion, which is how somebody like Trump expresses their, he actually has his shadow in this place on the tree of life, and it is a 1, but it is not a 28 1. It's actually a 37 1, which is the King of Cups. So his wound is around his dad, and maybe a lack of love and a lack of acceptance, him having to be a certain way in order to get the love of his father. That's his wound, and he has no vision because of it. He only sees his own place, but that's coming from a wounded place. This 28/1 vibration is not about that. It's about coming from a stable place, coming from a place where you're taking your creative energy wands and sharing it into the world. And wouldn't we have a much better world if we stopped fighting and we started cooperating? Imagine that. This midterm was very important, just as was the 2020 election in the US. But I think this midterm even more so, because we were asked, what do you want your future to look like? And we picked Biden. And then we're like, are you sure? You sure you don't want this theocracy? You sure you don't want this crazy non-democracy fascist state? The answer would be no. The answer would be no. And I think it's beautiful. And I'm telling you, it's a beautiful thing. We also have a woman in Oregon, the first openly gay governor in Oregon. Is it Oregon, I think? Or is it Washington? Sorry, guys. I should know. I love both states. I know you're separate, but I love both states. Okay, let's see. First card up, the Queen of Wands. The Queen of Wands. Often I see this as Pelosi. I see this as Pelosi. I see this as AOC. I see this as Liz Cheney. The things that those three people have in common is that they are women in power. And so here we stand with the feminine, right? This is a vibration of ferocity. It's also a vibration of, it is a 24/6 vibration. 6 is about community and responsibility. So this isn't just about ruling, but this is about ruling through love, Leo. This is a Leo card. This is about ruling from the heart and ruling from a place where people matter. People matter. Let's see the crossing card. We have the 3 of Pentacles here. It's called works. The challenge to that is the structures that have been in place for hundreds of years. And if you want to include the whole patriarchy part of this, then we could talk about thousands of years. So there's still some things to work through. Underneath it all, though, is the High Priestess. There are 2 cards in the deck, the most powerful feminine cards. One is the High Priestess, and one is the Empress, right? Those are the 2 most powerful cards, feminine archetype cards in the deck. And at the root of this, we have the High Priestess. The High Priestess on the Tree of Life is right here. Right here, and this connects the crown chakra with the heart chakra. This is a direct connection to spirit. At the root is your direct connection to spirit. Let's see what's in the past. There's a sense of feeling hung up, not having power. This might as well have been, 4 years of Trump, honestly. But what this helps us to do is it helps us to see where we have power and where we don't. And where we don't have power, we need to accept it. And where we do have power, we need to work it. And it also helps us to look at things from a different perspective. I really think that when we look back at this years from now, we're going to see that it was a necessary transformational process that we were going through. And we're going to be thankful for it. Although right now it's hard to know that and it's hard to feel that sometimes. Let's see what's in the sky. Prudence. This is saying be careful with your resources. Be prudent. Don't waste things. Don't waste resources. Don't waste money. Don't waste time. Make sure that you're putting yourself in Sun in Virgo, that you're doing your work. This is about service to humanity. Service to humanity. That is what Spirit is asking us. Let's see the immediate future. Yeah, we have the Six of Swords. This is coming out of troubled water. This is finding our common ground. The common ground is in our heart, is in the center of our heart. And this card is a 60/6 vibration. It is located in Tiphereth, right here. That's the heart chakra. Okay, so coming from a heart-centered place, but this is an air. So it's heart and mind come together. How it's seen from outside. This card is often seen kind of in a negative, well, in this deck, it seems quite negative to me, but I feel like this is our ability to harness our minds to move in the direction that we want to move into. So it's about harnessing our mind and moving in that direction. We have an octahedron in here. Octahedron is symbolic of power. It's also symbolic of responsible use of power. Domestic situation, moving in the right direction here. Things are changing quickly. This is the Chariot card always speaks of the soul taking on the armor of the personality in order to do the soul's work, right? Going down the center, we have the dark and the light here. It's interesting, right? In this deck, we have the dark and the light, the dark and the light. It's like the 1111, right? The 1111. The 1111 is always going to be a portal, right? It's always going to be a gateway of some sort. Hopes and fears, stability, the feminine ruler, right? Stability. Somebody who knows the worth of things. This card is associated with Taurus. And the outcome, transformation, death and rebirth. I want to say something to you guys who have sort of journeyed with me and, you know, with all the readers for this many years since Trump got in. We really sort of, all the readers came up and out and trying to give everybody some insight, some hope in some cases. But there has been a shift and there has been a change, and it's seen in many places. It was seen when Joe Biden won the presidency. It was seen when Lula, who just recently re-won the presidency of Brazil. We see the raising of the feminine energy in places like Iran, people standing up for what is right, saying no to authoritarianism, saying no to bullying, right? All of that stuff. All of that is happening. We are moving in the right direction. The darkest days, I honestly believe the darkest times at this point anyway, are behind us, and we are moving into the light. We are moving into the light. But in order to do that, we have to be willing to let go and trust, because on the other side of this death card is the heart. This card on the Tree of Life sits right here between Netzach, which is Venus ruled, and the sun. But it's also a path between the lower self and the higher self, okay? And we're moving our desire to aspire to our highest spiritual selves. And that higher spiritual self located in Tiphereth is connected to all the parts of the Tree of Life. And so it is poised in the center. We are changing, we are changing, we are the ones we've been waiting for. And once you open up to your own magnificence and you share what you know to be true for yourself and share your light with others, then ye are the light of the world. The next portal will be a 12/12 portal. We also have a new moon in Sagittarius coming up. And the day after the new moon in Sagittarius, Sagittarius ruler starts to move forward in Pisces and then moves back into Aries. We can't rest on our laurels. The thing is, the decision has been made, and now it's about doing the work. And the universe wants you to all know that it has your back. I hope you enjoyed this. Please like and subscribe. Check out my other videos. If you enjoy my work, you can support me by giving me a thumbs up. You can support me by sharing, or you can become a Patreon at Dr. Vicky at the Seeds. I'll leave a link below. You can just click on it and it should take you to the Patreon page. Until then, thank you so much. It's been such a wonderful journey so far. I'm not going anywhere, but it's an exciting time to be alive. And I'm glad I get to share it with you guys. Take care, everyone. Namaste and blessings from Massachusetts, where we are inundated with female leaders. Yay. All right, guys, take care. I love you. Bye.